Life is a journey filled with ups and downs, triumphs and tribulations. Many times we find ourselves dwelling on the hardships, feeling sorry for what we have lost, and mourning the life we once imagined for ourselves. But in reality, every challenge we face is an opportunity for growth. Every difficulty is shaping us into a stronger, wiser, and more resilient version of ourselves. It is easy to get lost in self-pity, but when we shift our perspective and embrace our struggles as stepping stones rather than roadblocks, we begin to unlock our true potential. Often people focus too much on what they lack instead of appreciating what they still have. There are countless moments in life when things don't go as planned. We may experience failure in our careers, heartbreak in relationships, or even health challenges that change our lives forever. In these moments, it is natural to feel frustrated, disappointed, and even lost. But the real strength lies in how we choose to respond. Do we sit and mourn over what could have been? Or do we rise and make something meaningful out of what we have? The difference between those who succeed and those who remain stuck in misery is the mindset they cultivate during difficult times. When we constantly dwell on what we have lost, we fail to see the doors that are still open. Imagine a person who has lost their ability to walk due to an accident. They could spend the rest of their lives crying over their misfortune. Or they could choose to adapt, learn new skills, and prove to the world that their disability does not define them. There are many inspiring individuals who have done just that. People who, despite their physical or emotional scars, have risen above their challenges and created meaningful lives. They refuse to let their struggles define them, and instead they use them as motivation to achieve greatness. Our struggles are not there to break us. They are there to make us. Every experience, whether good or bad, contributes to our growth. When we look back at our lives, we realize that some of the most difficult moments were the ones that taught us the most valuable lessons. Heartbreaks teach us the importance of self-worth. Failures teach us perseverance, and losses teach us gratitude. The pain we go through is not wasted. It transforms us. Instead of questioning why bad things happen, we should start seeing them as lessons that are preparing us for something greater. It is important to understand that nobody in this world has a perfect life. No matter how successful or happy someone appears on the outside, they have also faced their own share of struggles. The difference is how they handled those struggles. Instead of feeling sorry for themselves, they chose to rise above their circumstances. They chose to focus on the things they could control rather than dwelling on the things they had lost. One of the biggest mistakes we make is comparing our lives to others. In the age of social media, it is easy to feel as though everyone else is living a perfect life while we are struggling. We see people traveling, achieving their dreams, and looking happy, and we wonder why our lives are not the same. But what we see on the surface is never the full story. Every person has their own battles, their own moments of weakness and self-doubt. The key is to focus on our own journey rather than getting distracted by the illusion of someone else's success. Another common trap we fall into is blaming external factors for our situation. We blame our parents, our past, or society for the hardships we face. While it is true that some circumstances are beyond our control, our response to those circumstances is always within our power. We cannot change the past, but we can shape our future. The moment we take full responsibility for our lives, we begin to take back our power. Instead of waiting for things to change, we must become the change we seek. Some of the most inspiring people in history have come from the most difficult backgrounds. They were not born into privilege, nor were they given an easy path to success. They faced rejection, pain, and failure, but they refused to let their struggles define them. They chose to use their pain as motivation rather than an excuse. They understood that every setback was a setup for a comeback. We must remember that self-pity is a dangerous cycle. The more we indulge in it, the harder it becomes to break free. It drains our energy, robs us of our potential, and keeps us stuck in a negative mindset. The only way out is to shift our focus from what we have lost to what we still have. We must remind ourselves that as long as we are alive, we have the opportunity to grow, to learn, and to make a difference. Instead of mourning over what we cannot change, we must take charge of what. If we have lost something, we must find something new to gain. If we have been hurt, we must learn to heal. If we have failed, we must try again. Strength is not about never falling. It is about rising every time we do. The greatest victories in life come to those who refuse to give up, no matter how hard the journey gets. The scars we carry are not signs of weakness. They are reminders of our strength. They show that we have survived, that we have endured, and that we are still standing. Our experiences, no matter how painful, shape us into the people we are meant to be. They teach us empathy, resilience, and wisdom. When we embrace our struggles rather than resisting them, we find a deeper sense of purpose in life. The first step towards a better life is to let go of self-pity. We must accept our past, embrace our present, and take charge of our future. Every day is a new opportunity to rewrite our story, to become stronger, and to turn our struggles into stepping stones. Instead of feeling sorry for ourselves, we must rise, fight, and create a life that is truly worth living. Life is full of hardships, disappointments, and painful moments that can leave us feeling broken. At times, it may seem like the entire world is against us, that nothing ever goes our way, and that we are destined for suffering. It is in these moments of despair that many people begin to see themselves as victims. They believe that life has been unfair to them, that they have been dealt an unfortunate hand, and that they are powerless to change their circumstances. But the truth is, you are not a victim, you are a warrior. No matter how much pain you have endured, no matter how many obstacles you have faced, you still have the power to rise, to fight, and to rewrite your own story. One of the biggest mistakes people make is waiting for someone else to come and save them. They believe that if only they had the right support, the right opportunities, or the right circumstances, then they would be able to move forward. But the reality is, no one is coming to save you. No one else can fight your battles for you. The only person who has the power to change your life is you. The moment you stop waiting for external help and start taking responsibility for your own happiness, you will begin to see just how much control you truly have. Many people fall into the trap of blaming others for their misfortunes. They blame their parents, their upbringing, their past experiences, or even society for the challenges they face. While it is true that external circumstances can shape us, they do not define us. There are countless people who have come from broken families, who have endured unimaginable suffering, yet they have risen above their circumstances and built extraordinary lives. Instead of focusing on what they lack, they focus on what they can create. When you see yourself as a victim, you give away your power. You start to believe that you have no control over your life, that you are at the mercy of fate, and that you are destined to suffer. This mindset keeps you stuck, preventing you from taking action and creating change. But the moment you shift your perspective and start seeing yourself as a warrior, everything changes. A warrior does not sit and complain about how unfair life is. A warrior stands up and fights. A warrior does not wait for someone else to make things better. A warrior takes charge and creates their own destiny. One of the key differences between a victim and a warrior is mindset. A victim sees obstacles as proof that they are cursed, while a warrior sees obstacles as opportunities for growth. A victim allows pain to define them, while a warrior allows pain to refine them. A victim asks, "Why is this happening to me?" while a warrior asks, "How can I overcome this?" The way you frame your struggles determines whether you will remain stuck or whether you will rise above them. It is important to understand that life will never be free of challenges. Even the most successful people in the world have faced difficulties, setbacks, and failures. The difference is that they refuse to let those struggles break them. Instead of giving up, they use their pain as fuel to push forward. They understood that every hardship was an opportunity to grow stronger, to become wiser, and to prove to themselves that they were capable of overcoming anything. Resilience is what separates those who succeed from those who give up. The people who achieve greatness in life are not the ones who have had it easy. They are the ones who have faced adversity and refused to back down. They are the ones who have been knocked down time and time again, yet they got back up, determined to keep going. This is the warrior mindset. No matter how many times life pushes you down, You refuse to stay there. You rise, you fight, and you keep moving forward. Another important aspect of being a warrior is taking ownership of your life. It is easy to blame others for our struggles, but true strength comes from accepting full responsibility for where we are and making a conscious decision to change. When you take ownership of your life, you stop making excuses and start taking action. You realize that while you may not be able to control everything that happens to you, you can always control how you respond, and it is your response to life's challenges that ultimately determines your success. Fear is one of the biggest obstacles that hold people back. Fear of failure, fear of rejection, fear of the unknown. These fears keep us trapped in a cycle of self-doubt and inaction. But a warrior does not let fear control them. A warrior acknowledges their fear but moves forward anyway. They understand that fear is just a mental barrier and that the only way to overcome it is to face it head on. Every great achievement in history was accomplished by someone who refused to let fear stop them. One of the most powerful things you can do as a warrior is to change the way you speak to yourself. The words you say to yourself every day shape your beliefs and your reality. If you constantly tell yourself that you are not good enough, that you are a failure, or that you will never succeed, then you will start to believe it. But if you choose to speak words of strength, confidence, and resilience, you will begin to embody those qualities. Instead of saying, I can't do this, start saying, I will find a way. Instead of saying, I am not strong enough, start saying, I have survived everything life has thrown at me, and I will survive this too. Another key to embracing the warrior mindset is surrounding yourself with the right people. The people you spend the most time with have a huge impact on your mindset and your attitude towards life. If you are constantly around negative, toxic, or discouraging people, their energy will start to affect you. But if you surround yourself with strong, positive, and driven individuals, their energy will lift you up and inspire you to keep pushing forward. Find people who believe in you, who challenge you to be better, and who remind you of your own strength when you forget it. Pain is an inevitable part of life, but suffering is a choice. There will be times when life feels unbearable, when everything seems to be falling apart, and when you feel like giving up. But in those moments, remember that you are not a victim. You are not powerless. You have survived every bad day, every heartbreak, and every disappointment that life has thrown at you. You have already proven your strength, and you will continue to rise. No matter what comes your way, you are not defined by your past. You are not defined by your failures. You are not defined by your pain. You are defined by the way you rise after every fall, by the way you refuse to be defeated, and by the way you keep fighting no matter how hard life gets. You are not a victim. You are a warrior. And warriors do not give up. Pain is an inevitable part of life. No one goes through life without experiencing hardships, losses, or failures. But what truly defines us is not the pain itself, but what we do with it. Some people allow pain to consume them, to make them bitter, to fill them with resentment and regret. Others take that same pain and transform it into something meaningful. They turn their wounds into wisdom, their struggles into strength, and their suffering into purpose. The greatest stories of resilience are not about people who lived easy, comfortable lives. They're about people who faced unimaginable adversity yet chose to rise above it and make a difference, not only in their own lives, but in the lives of others. When we experience pain, our first instinct is often to ask, why me? We look for reasons, we search for explanations, and we sometimes convince ourselves that life is unfair. While these feelings are natural, dwelling in this mindset can keep us stuck. Instead of asking, why is this happening to me? We should start asking, what can I learn from this? Pain is not pointless. It teaches us, shapes us, and if we let it, guides us toward our true purpose. Every great leader, every powerful speaker, every inspiring figure in history has faced hardship. But what set them apart was their ability to use their pain as fuel for something greater. One of the most powerful ways to turn pain into purpose is to help others who are experiencing similar struggles. When you have been through something difficult, you gain a unique understanding of that pain. You know what it feels like to suffer, to feel lost, to struggle in silence. That understanding allows you to connect with others in a way that no one else can. Your experiences give you the ability to offer support, guidance, and encouragement to those who are still going through what you once endured. Some of the most impactful non-normative organizations, support groups, and movements were started by people who turned their personal struggles into a mission to help others. Think about the people who inspire you the most. Chances are, they have overcome something significant. They have walked through fire, endured storms, and yet, instead of allowing their pain to destroy them, they used it to build something beautiful. They understood that pain was not the end of their story. It was the beginning of something greater. Their hardships gave them a sense of purpose, a mission, a reason to wake up every day and make a difference. Pain has the power to transform us in ways that comfort never could. When everything is going well, we rarely reflect on our deeper purpose. We go through life without questioning, without searching for meaning. But when we are faced with pain, we are forced to look inward. We start to ask the important questions. What truly matters to me? What am I meant to do with my life? How can I take this pain and turn it into something that benefits not only myself, but others? These questions lead us to our true calling. They push us to find meaning in our suffering and to create something valuable from our experiences. Pain can also be a powerful motivator. Some of the most successful people in the world have used their pain as fuel to push themselves further than they ever thought possible. They took every rejection, every failure, every heartbreak, and used it as a reason to work harder, to prove themselves, and to rise above their circumstances. Instead of letting pain break them, they let it build them. Instead of using it as an excuse to give up, they used it as motivation to keep going. When you take your pain and turn it into a driving force, nothing can stop you. There is a famous saying, your mess becomes your message. The things you have been through, the struggles, the disappointments, the losses, these are not things to be ashamed of. They are part of your story, and your story has the power to inspire others. Too often people hide their pain. They pretend everything is fine, afraid to show vulnerability. But vulnerability is not weakness, it is strength. When you open up about your struggles, when you share your journey, you give others permission to do the same. You remind them that they are not alone, that pain is universal, and that it is possible to overcome even the darkest moments. Turning pain into purpose does not mean ignoring or suppressing what you have been through. It means acknowledging it, facing it, and choosing to use it as a catalyst for growth. It means accepting that while you cannot change the past, you have the power to shape the future. It means refusing to let pain define you in a negative way and instead using it as a tool to become a better, stronger, more compassionate person. One of the most beautiful things about pain is that it deepens our empathy. When you have struggled, you understand struggle. When you have felt alone, you recognize loneliness in others. When you have suffered loss, you know how to comfort those who are grieving. Pain gives you a perspective that cannot be learned in any other way. It softens you, humbles you, and allows you to connect with others on a deeper level. This empathy is a gift, one that can be used to uplift, to heal, and to inspire. It is also important to remember that pain is temporary, but the impact of how you choose to use it can last forever. The people who leave the greatest legacy are not the ones who lived the easiest lives. They are the ones who faced adversity, who struggled, who fought battles, but who never gave up. They are the ones who turned their scars into stories, their pain into purpose, their struggles into strength. They are the ones who decided that their suffering would not be in vain, that they would take what they had been through and use it to make the world a better place. No matter what pain you have experienced, you have a choice. You can let it hold you back, make you bitter, and keep you stuck in the past. Or you can let it propel you forward, make you stronger, and push you toward your true purpose. The choice is yours. Pain does not have to be the end of your story. It can be the beginning of something extraordinary. Pain is not meant to break you, it is meant to shape you. Every hardship, every tear, every setback has the potential to lead you toward a greater purpose. The choice is yours. Will you let your pain consume you, or will you rise and turn it into something meaningful? You are stronger than you think, and your story is far from over. Embrace your struggles, use them as fuel, and create a life that inspires others. Let your pain become your power, your strength, and your purpose. The world needs your story. Don't be afraid to share it. If you learned something new from this tutorial, don't forget to like and subscribe.